Hi Kate. So the Alan Taylor song, Crazy Man. Drop D, and then the first phrase I was saying is it's like it's playing a D chord, but it's playing different voicings of it. So we pluck the D, the low D, and we've got those three positions. Two shapes, three positions. The first one, 3rd fret of the B string and 4th fret of the D string, and they get plucked at the same time, and they're from a C shape. And it's just those two strings rather than the whole shape. So we've got that. And then the next shape, 5th fret on the same two strings, D string, B string. And then the next shape, or the next position, is that same shape taken up to the 7th fret. And he does something like, so that's plucking two strings at the same time. I'm doing a hammer on there, but you don't have to. I'm doing a double hammer on. But you can just go from that first position to the second with a pluck. And then that slightly different sound going from this position to this position, 5th fret to 7th fret, is because he plucks one string, slides up, and then plucks the other string. Yeah. So far. Then he plucks the A string and goes back to the 5th fret on the D string and B string. And then again, he's plucking one string at a time. He's plucking the D string, B string, and then plucks the D string again and slides up from the 5th fret to the 9th fret of the D string, and then gets the 8th fret of the B string. For that same shape that we had down here at frets 3 and 4, and we have it up here and frets 8 and 9, but I'm just playing it with different fingers, fretting it with different fingers. So when he's doing that bit, as soon as he plucks that A string, then all these are heard in relation to that A note, and they're types of A chords. That's an A sus, that's an A7, and that's an A7 add 2 or 9. So I suppose you could call it an A9. But the main point is, whatever you call them, they're versions of an A chord. Okay? And so the first bit was versions of a D chord. And here, as soon as he hits that A string, then these shapes become, like I said, versions of an A chord, types of an A chord. So that's the intro. Nice. Sorry, that was the first half of the intro. Then, after he's done that, sort of like he's gone from a D chord to an A chord, then he plucks the D, the low D, the E string, tuned down to D. He plucks that again, and you hear. Now let me hear that again. So he's got that. So it's those two shapes again. This first lot is like a reverse of what we very first did. It's all on the D and B string still. 7th fret down to 5th fret, and you can hear that I did a slide there on both strings. And then he goes from this 5th fret and 5th fret on the D and B string to the 4th fret on the D string and 3rd fret on the B string. Then he goes down to just an A7 shape, which is 2nd fret on the D and B strings. And then he takes that shape up to the 5th fret again. And that was all over a D. Does he hit an A string again at the end of it? Yeah, he hits it. He hits an A string somewhere around there. Yeah. So he's got D string, low E string with the D note. And then when he gets to this shape, he plays the A string at the same time as the D and the B string. So you've got these 3 positions over the A note. And this is a A sus, this is an A7, and this is an A7. Different voicings, but those are the chords. So that's the intro. And then what do we have in the shall I stop this? I'll stop this here and do a separate video for the verse. Yeah.